Okay, wanted to go over some things with you on taxes and stuff. So many people get confused on going offshore, thinking that when you go offshore and you invest, you end up paying less in taxes. Actually, you can end up paying a lot more in taxes if you don't know what you're doing. And this is what I'm going to be going over with you today, because so many people go offshore, don't know what they're doing, and they end up paying actually more out in taxes, and it just blows their mind thinking, gee, have I made a mistake? Anyway, if you get a chance, if you go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, if you want to legally learn how to get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button and notification bell right under your screen there. You get new videos automatically as they come out. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below. I'd be glad to get back with you on this. Okay, this is what happens to a lot of cases. What happens is people will actually, they'll, maybe if they're a U.S. citizen, they might relinquish their U.S. citizenship, because if you're a U.S. person, that's the only way you can really get around all taxes if you're a U.S. person. And have the flexibility to get around all taxes doesn't mean you're going to get all around them. If you don't know what you're doing, you could get bombed with more taxes than what you had in the U.S. All right, now let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. When you leave the U.S., what happens is you actually get what's called a W-8 form, because if you were born in the U.S., it's going to show on your passport. So even when you give your new passport, wherever that be, to a brokerage company, they're going to see, that you were born in the U.S., so they're going to know that you are a U.S. citizen at one time in your life. So they're going to want to have a relinquishment form, notice of certificate of loss of citizenship from the U.S. So you're going to have to give them that. And then what they'll do is they'll file a W-8 form when you buy equities and stuff like this. What this will do is, if you buy in the U.S., you won't have a capital gains tax at that point if you've relinquished your U.S. citizenship if you buy equities, but you're going to have a withholding tax of around 30%, okay? Now, so the tax that you thought you were getting around, sure, you get around the capital gains tax, but you won't get around the dividend tax. Now, there are ways that you can get around it, and that is if you pick stocks that don't issue dividends. And I'm not telling you to buy these stocks. I'm just giving you examples of ones like Microsoft. I'm sorry, not Microsoft. Facebook, Amazon, Google. These are some stocks that don't have, they don't issue a dividend, so you don't have that withholding tax. Everything is growth, okay? So it's treated as a gain when you sell it. There's no dividend that's paid out, every year. So what you're able to do is avoid the tax on those equities. But if they issue a dividend, then you're going to have around a 30% withholding tax taken out on that, okay? Now, there are 21 countries in the world that do not have a withholding tax on dividends. And most people don't know how to plan and get around that. And what you need to do is choose from these countries to buy your equities from, and you avoid the tax, okay? Now, if you go to the UK doesn't have a withholding tax on dividends to foreigners, but they've got a hefty stamp duty of 0.50% on whatever you purchase. But unlike a dividend that's hitting you every year, that stamp duty is a one-time thing, okay? And if you hold those stocks forever, you have no more taxes. They're just like £1 when you sell it fee, but that's pretty much it. Now, you've got other countries that have stamp duties. Hong Kong also has a stamp duty, but Hong Kong doesn't have a withholding tax on dividends. Singapore doesn't have withholding tax on dividends. So you get the dividend tax free. Now, if you're a U.S. citizen, you're still obligated to pay taxes on that. If you're still a U.S. citizen, the only way to get around it, like I said, is you relinquish your U.S. citizenship. Now, if you are from a high tax country like Germany, Austria, whatever, you need to break your ties from that country residency-wise, where you're not obligated to pay taxes worldwide on your other income. And so you would need to do whatever necessary to do that. I mean, it could be, eliminating library cards, getting rid of properties. It could be not having any organizations that you're membership of. Every country is different. We'd have to take that country and look at what country you're from, and then find out exactly what you're going to have to do from there to make that decision. So these are some things that you're going to have to look at. So remember that most countries do not have a capital gains tax at all for foreigners, okay, that are buying their equities. But most of the countries in the world do have a withholding tax on dividends, okay? And the only way you can get around that is to buy stocks in that country that don't issue dividends, or buy stocks in countries that don't have a dividend withholding tax when you buy their equities. So these are some things that you have to look at. If you buy properties in countries that don't have a capital gains tax or an income tax. St. Kitts is one of them, okay? St. Kitts doesn't have an income tax, a capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. So, and plus there's no income tax on rental income. So if you're looking to buy massive amounts of properties, and right now is a good time because St. Kitts' properties are actually pretty low, very low compared to other tax havens. And you want rental income tax-free, and no capital gains tax, man, you're not going to find a better place than here. So these are ways that you can get around all taxes across the board, okay, as far as capital gains tax and income taxes. So what we do is take your situation. We'd have to look at what you're doing, what you want to do, and show you basically how to get that to zero. But you need to study into this and learn about this. So when you leave the U.S., you're not going to be actually tax more than what you are, already, or wherever country you're coming from. Remember, Switzerland Chile have about a 35% withholding tax. Everybody thinks Switzerland's a tax haven. They got one of the highest withholding taxes. In fact, they do. Chile and Switzerland have the two highest withholding taxes of any country in the world on dividends, but yet everybody thinks Switzerland's a tax haven, And you buy some of these Swiss stocks like Novartis, Nestle, these companies have a huge withholding tax on the dividend. You're losing over a third of your profits on your dividends to the government in that country. You need to pick countries that have zero withholding tax on dividends if you want to get that to zero. Remember this, nobody knows what a stock's going to do when you buy it, okay? I'm not going to tell you how to pick a stock, but I can tell you this 100%. If you buy a stock that's in a country where you're going to have it, 100%, you're going to lose 35%. That's a 100% guarantee. I don't know if I'd want to be picking there. I'd rather pick from a country where I know instantly, I know that I'm not going to have anything taken out on a withholding tax. And because, sure, if you buy a stock in Switzerland, it might go up, might go down. But one thing I can tell you, you're going to lose 35% of the dividend. Anyway, folks, if you got a question or comment, put it below. And also, don't forget, hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen. You get new videos as they come out automatically. And don't forget to hit the notification bell next to that subscribe button. And folks, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, if you want to get your taxes to zero, or you want to get a passport as quick as 45 days. And I'll be glad to help you and see what we can do to solve your problem. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.